The following is presented by Le Sommet Coors Light. Celebrity guests, entertainment, and a bit of sports. Every Wednesday night on RDS.
Welcome back, Marinero with you. When I was told about Le Défi 808 Bonneville, I'm not going to lie to you. I never heard of it. So I was sent an email with some information on it, a little bit of information. And I was told to get a hold of Dany Bonneville. And that's what we've done. Dany, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Never better.
Fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. There's an event that's going to take place called Le Défi 808 Bonneville, which is going to take place...
808 Challenge, yes.
Okay, which is going to take place on the 22nd and 23rd of September. All right?
Absolutely.
And I know that it's going to take place in Mont-Tremblant. Is it starting in Tremblant? Is that it?
Yeah, it's in Tremblant, and it finishes in Tremblant.
All right. Dany, for those listening who are saying, what in the world is this 808 challenge? What is the Défi 808 Bonneville? What is it, Dany?
Well, it's a challenge we've put up of 808 kilometers that you can do team of 4, team of 2, or solo. And it's to raise money to support all our young Quebec athletes for the foundation, la Fondation d'Athlètes d'Excellence du Québec. Now, to open up this challenge to as much people as we can, we now have different distances. So you can do from 100 kilometers to 808 kilometers, solo or team of 2 or 4.
All right. Now, how did this all come about?
Well, I've been doing this race for 5 years. I did it 5 times in Death Valley, California. It was called the 508 for 508 miles. And I did it 3 times, team of 2. And then I did it solo where I didn't finish. So I took a little time to digest all of that. And then I had to go back and to settle some score down there. And I finally finished it 2 years ago in 37 hours with no sleep. So last year, I decided to bring this event in Mont-Tremblant, a beautiful, beautiful place, Mont-Tremblant. We have an amazing course, 400 kilometers, so you do it twice when you do the 800-kilometer challenge. And last year, we had 375 participants doing this new amazing challenge.
Now, did somebody talk to you about this? Did you say this is what I want to do? Did you have a passion for biking or cycling before that, or it's about the challenge?
Well, you know, I'm not a cyclist. Before I just started cycling about 15 years ago, and
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking, Dany?
I'm 52.
Okay, so you started cycling 15 years ago, you said?
Yeah, roughly 15 years ago.
So you took it up at 37. Okay.
Exactly, and then I started to run, and I started to do duathlons, and then triathlons, and then I did a few Ironmans and half Ironmans, and then that brought me to ultra cycling, and I have now a huge passion for cycling, but also what it does is I think it allows people, it allows me to inspire people to get in shape, you know, to start moving, eat better, and I've seen this with my friends. I've seen this with my employees and all my suppliers that they have started to get on the bikes, started to cycle, get back into shape, and just to have healthy lifestyles.
Is there anyone close to you or anyone that did this that has a phenomenal story because of it? A big turnaround?
I have many stories. Since, you know, one guy was 72 years old. He registered for the 400-kilometer loop solo. So he did 200K on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, you know, and that was the weekend last year where it was 40 degrees at the end of August. They canceled the marathon on that day. That's how hot it was. And so he did 100K on the Sunday and had to abandon it because it was too much. The heat was just too much. But when we opened the registration this year, he was the first one again to register for the 400K. 72 years old. He's going to do 400K in 2 days.
I think this man just changed my life.
That's an amazing story. I have some of my employees. I never biked last year. They never biked. They started to bike in May. I trained them every week. I went out with them every week. And they did last September. They did 100K on Saturday and 100K on Sunday. And for them, that was the biggest achievement they've never had. They finished, well, they were crying when they finished. And they were on a cloud for a month just surfing because they were so proud of themselves. And now this year, they're registered to do 200K in the same day. So, it's the Bonneville 808 Challenge. It's not about one guy who does 800 kilometers, but it's about Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde who decides to give themselves a challenge of doing 100K, 200K, or whatever the distance they want to do, get in shape, start cycling, and be ready for September. And in the same time, we raise money for these young athletes, la Fondation d'Athlètes d'Excellence. In Pyeongchang, we had 28 boursiers of the foundation that were there, 28 Olympic athletes that were sponsored by la Fondation d'Athlètes d'Excellence. And they brought home 9 medals, so that's pretty amazing.
Okay, so do the proceeds go to la Fondation de l'Athlète d'Excellence du Québec?
100%.
100%?
100% goes to our young athletes. And we have our spokesmen are Michael Kingsbury.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Annie Pelletier, Lynn Bessette, all these young athletes that some are older, but all these athletes that are simply the leader of tomorrow. They are leaders.
Oh, fantastic. This is fantastic. This is really great. How many participants are you expecting this year?
Well, this year we're aiming over 500 athletes. We already have 200 registered, and with the weather we've had lately, the weather was not too inclined to incite people to do cycling, but it's starting to be nice now, I think. So the registration is open. You can register at Bonneville808challenge.com, and we think we'll have over 500 athletes.
Bonneville808challenge.com or Défi 808 Bonneville.com. How much does it cost to register?
Well, it all depending on the distance you choose and if you're a team or solo, but it's roughly $250 per person, and you have to raise $250.
This is amazing. This is really, really good. Can you let me know how it goes?
Yes, absolutely. And I can tell you all these stories I've seen after the Bonneville 808 challenge in September. All these people who decided to give themselves a challenge and then to see them at the finish line. It was simply amazing to see that, and they had their chance, to be inspired from all these elite athletes that was also there, all these great Olympic athletes that were there on site. So, we say inspiration is part of the DNA of the Bonneville 8 Challenge, but it's really what it is. People come out inspired by all these athletes, all different kinds of athletes that are there during that weekend.
Thank you so much, Dany. We appreciate you taking the time and telling us about the Défi 808, the 808 Challenge. Thank you again.
And you're more than welcome to join us on the starting line if you want on the 23rd of September.
I'm not gonna say yes right away, and I'm not gonna say no right away. Okay. But it's hard for me to say no after hearing that a 72-year-old gentleman. How many kilometers did he do again?
300 out of the 400. But this year he has been training harder, and he's going to do the 400 solo on 2 days. 200 on Saturday and 200 on Sunday. So if he's 72,
can you imagine
he's going to do 400K, you can do 100. I'm sure you can do 100.
Have you seen me lately? No.
But yes, but I'm sure you can do 100.
I don't know how the tire on the bike's not going to get a flat.
That's not a problem. We'll fix it.
You know what? I'm not going to say yes or no right away because I don't want to come in and say I can. I'll check the schedule, but you piqued my curiosity. Believe me when I tell you that.
I tell you, it's really, really amazing. You know, I've seen some people walk through some of the hills, and then when I see them at the finish line, they were in tears. They were so happy of themselves to see the finish line and to succeed in the challenge that they gave themselves. It's something else.
Appreciate taking the time. Thanks so much. Good luck with it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you have it, Dany Bonneville. You know, it's funny because we didn't do much. I have to tell you, we're a family that up until now has never done much biking. You can imagine, Sean. You know pretty much how protective I am. You always talk about the bubble, right? You can imagine, right? It's everyone grabs the bike. I get a little bit nervous, but last year we did a little bit, you know, but a little bit, side streets here or there and stuff like that, whatever. Never really to go on the bike path. And I said, last year I said, you know what? Next year I want to start earlier, and I want to start going on the bike path. Anyway, we have a couple of mountain bikes at home. And we come home, and we usually bring the mountain bikes, and we had put them in the shed once in the back, but now we usually put them in, we hang them up in the garage.
So they're closer now.
Yeah, and Anthony, so they're closer because instead of going in the shed in the backyard and grabbing the bike and taking it in, it's just you open the garage, take out the bike, and you go. Anyway, Anthony, who's still a little naive, 15 years old, still a little naive, he parks the bike not in the backyard and not in the front of the house, but the passage to go to the backyard where the bike was visible. The bike is gone.